Could you flip the camera? Hi, my name is Zach Jaffe, and this is for public speaking, and this is on whether or not I think college tuition should be free in the United States. Student debt has long been the ire of everyone who has been through college, and these days are getting increasingly more difficult to pay for tuition. I'm going to explain why college tuition should be free for people who can't afford it and people who may come from lower income class families. First main point is that college tuition should be free because it's way too expensive. The debt is a heavy burden on many. It takes a long time to pay back, and it's quite honestly just a big difficulty when you graduate college. You don't have a job yet, you're going back to your parents' house or something, but you might not have a job lined up and you might not have a way to pay. So I think with the elimination of college tuition, it will be easier for you to get your feet underneath you and be able to find a job and be able to live a better life. You won't have to worry about that albatross always on your back about having to pay it back. The benefits of it are it reduces the amount of student debt, which I just touched on. Is that student debt's a huge problem in the United States. A lot of people, it takes them years to pay it back, and it's ridiculous how much it affects people these days. Another benefit is everyone would have an equal opportunity. People who usually wouldn't be able to afford college could now go to school, get a higher education. There's probably a lot of brilliant minds out there that haven't gotten an opportunity to go to college, get a degree, get a job because they're stuck in low-income areas that they can't afford it. So, in order to create this more equal opportunity in schools, I think that college tuition should be free for everyone, and give people that wouldn't usually have it, that chance, a chance to have a good life, make a good living, have a stable income, because usually what happens is these people that can't afford to go to school, they come from parents or they come from a family where they're usually the first one to be able to go to school, or no one in their family has ever been to college. And that's the racial divide mostly, is that usually the minorities suffer because historically they live in more impoverished neighborhoods. So when your kid can't afford to go to college because you don't have money, then it just keeps going and continues down, and nothing changes. And there's no diversity in schools. There's no diversity in jobs, and that's why it's so hard these days for people that are in poverty, that don't have the money to be able to afford to go to school. The arguments against free college tuition are it would increase taxes because the money's got to come from somewhere. And in this case, the money's got to come from the pockets of people, the United States citizens. Tax hikes, tax increases would occur to be able to afford to pay for like all the stuff that tuition covers usually. So it would increase the country's taxes a good, not that much, but a good amount, to the point that's noticeable, and to the point that I can understand people not being happy with having to pay a little bit more. It might influence financial irresponsibility. What having student debt does is that it tells you that you need to save some of your money, that you can't go and spend it all. With having no student debt, with having no college tuition, with having not to pay that, you might be more reckless in your spending habits during school or after school. And then you don't have, then once you graduate, you won't have good spending habits. After you graduate and when you go to the workforce and such. Another thing is it might devalue a degree because everyone able to go, more people are able to go to college. There's more people graduating. There's more people going into a certain major and such. It's just, since it's cheaper, more people are going to do it, which I think also works the other way. it gives people more opportunity. But despite this, yes, I do think it would probably devalue a degree to a sort that, maybe you didn't have to have as much to get this because everyone else has it. Because everyone else has this degree, because everyone else is taking that class, which I could understand would be a main cause of concern. Despite these things, I think it should be free for qualified people, for people that maybe can't afford it in the first place. So that's why I think it should be free, because there's a lot of things that, well, there's a lot of people that never would be getting an opportunity to, make their impact on the world because they never got to go to school, they never got out of their neighborhood, which I just think isn't fair. So that's why I think college tuition should be free. Is because it gives more people a chance, and I think giving more people a chance means you have more of a chance to find tomorrow's leaders, or the future's presidents, or future scientists that make a breakthrough. And I think that having college tuition kind of cuts our legs in half. That we're not really allowing most of the general population to get a higher education, and which is why I think that people should support having free college tuition.